guys, and welcome back to Freeze Drying Mama. I am so excited. My hubby's has taken over the task of filling my trays. As most of you know, if you have a freeze dryer, that can be the daunting part to fill those up. And hubby's been filling them and getting them all done and organized and shoving them in the freezer. And then he's like, okay, the next trays are done. And that's like a huge load off my back. And it's awesome. So, but this time I'm super excited. This load took 57 hours and it should have taken longer. And I'm going to tell you a little trick that he gave me, or that he suggested when I was like, no, you can't do mixed fruit in the cans. Because I was like, no, too much syrup, as you know, and it's just too much sweet, right? And the last time I tried that, it turned into this really syrupy mess, and I was really disgusted with it, and I said I'd never do it again. My husband came in and said, what if we rinse drain the syrup off in a container, in a colander, and then we rinse it with water? So that's what he did. And I was like, I don't know, I was a little skeptical. But he did it, and we got this perfect fruit. This is mandarin, those are mandarin oranges. Here's some pear bits. These are, remember, these are the canned fruit in the thick syrup, the light syrup. Here's the cherries. I mean, they should not look like this. The last time I did them was horrendous mess. It was a mess, and I swore, never again. Well, hubby's is like, gave himself job security, because now they get to be rinsed, and this turned out awesome. So I'm so proud of him. He did great. So I thought I would show you what this looks like this, give you that little tip, and then I'm going to try one because I like to eat food. Oh yeah, that's like candy. That's even better than like I would think that I would expect it to be. But if you wanted to reconstitute it like the fruit, you can put it here. I'm going to do this and see if my awesome hubby can zoom in on the food right here. And I'm just going to add a little bit to it. Oh man, that tastes like honey. It tastes like candy. I don't want to take any of that. And there, it's already soft. Probably take another minute or two to get it to where you'd want to put it into like a fruit salad or something. But as you can see, the pear, and you can see that pear right there starting to slowly absorb it, like it's a sponge. And as you know, I don't like to put in a whole bunch of water all at once because I don't necessarily want my stuff to be floating around. Just add a little bit until it looks fine. Can you see that, how it's starting to absorb the water there? That's pretty, I mean, that shows you that it actually is acting like a sponge and that it was freeze-dried before. I'm going to eat that one before it absorbs anything because I don't like mixed fruit soft. Okay, so that's how you would do that. Just slowly add water, and then you can mix it with your jellos and your whipped creams and whatever you want. Or you can do what I'm going to suggest my hubby does this summer when he goes dirt biking and throw a bag in the back and start munching on it with his friends. It'd be a lot healthier than some of those chocolate-covered granola bars that we all love to eat so much. All right, so the canned fruit aside, now we're going to talk about black beans. I love black beans. You can do so much with them. And my husband had like tons of cans on the tray. How many cans do you think you got on that tray, honey? He got 4. He's flashing his fingers at me. He's so cute. Okay, so we've got the black beans. And I like black beans because I like to do like the black bean cake, black bean brownies. I'll link to some of those great recipes in the comment or down in the description below. But what's awesome about these is I like these sprinkled on like a salad as is, not reconstituted, just as is, like that dry. So it's almost like a crouton, but it's not bread. Remember, I don't love bread. Well, I love bread, but it's a love-hate relationship. It loves me too much and it sticks to my hips. So what I like with this is to do that. Or you can throw it into some soup. You could throw it on tacos. It's a fun little crunchy thing. But what if we were going to reconstitute it? And again, I'm using hot water tonight. And then you can see how it starts to absorb the water. And it's great. I'm going to mix it a little bit because I don't like my beans to be in chili. I don't like black beans in chili. I like pinto beans in chili. But look at how it's starting to absorb that. Okay, and you know I have to try it. I always have to try it. You get to watch me eat. That actually absorbed really quick. And where it was like dry and flaky before, it has really good, it's back to that body just like I pulled it out of the can. That one turned out really good. I'm going to get a clean spoon now because, you know, black beans don't mix with applesauce. Hubby did applesauce. And he did normal applesauce, and then he spread cinnamon applesauce on top, and I was like, what's with the brown stuff? And he was like, oh, I added cinnamon applesauce. And I was like, I knew I loved you for a reason. So, we're going to do applesauce next. And if you can come up here and look and see, this is what it looked like. This whole wafer thing is like just a thin little piece that I cut out of the tray, but it filled the entire tray, and I was like wrestling it out. Then at the very end, we had this flake stuff, and I'm going to try it before we add water to it because I'm an applesauce fan. And this gives me 2 reasons. Ooh, did you try that? Yeah, I'm giving hubby some off camera. So if you hear munching, it's totally fine. Tastes like candy. I like that. So then what we're going to do, I'm going to add some hot water because I like my applesauce usually heated up. Cold water is fine too. And I've already like poured some in. Ooh, let's do this. Let's experiment and put it in my hands. Look, it's starting to fall apart in my fingers. Ow, dang it, I lost it. That absorbs pretty quickly, just like a sponge. But it held a great texture. Let's see when it's all mixed up. Oh, this is almost like those sweet potatoes. I'm so excited. Do you remember the sweet potatoes? If you haven't gone to my Thanksgiving reconstitution video, I highly recommend that you do because my sweet potatoes, they're that good. Okay, so here we go. Look at that. Right back into applesauce. Now let's say you were doing this for a kid or something and you wanted it really thin. You could add more water to that. You can add as much water as you want. So when people ask me, oh, how much water do I add? Honey, you add as much water as you want to add. So I could keep adding it because this isn't all the way reconstituted. But if I wanted this kind of consistency, I could do this. I could almost pull off like a peanut, I'm spitting food out, like a peanut butter sandwich with applesauce. And the applesauce, I wouldn't have to make applesauce with butter. I could just use applesauce, right? So that would save me a little bit of sugar. You know me, I'm always trying to avoid the sugar, even though I'm also always trying to eat it. Okay, so that's what we would do for your applesauce. And you can get it, again, as thin as you want. My last one. I love this last one because you can do so much with it. And I'm going to give you a second to think about it. What does it look like? It probably looks like HUD, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It is refried beans, and they are delicious. And you can eat refried beans like this, but I highly recommend that you don't. They're super dry, and you will be sitting there like dying. But we're just going to add some water to them. And these are great because refried beans are already cooked. You can eat them like this and just dip some chips into them. And get a little bit more water on that. You can see, I love how it grabs more water, that color from when it does the water. But they'll just sit there and absorb up. And you can dip these, you can add avocado, freeze-dried avocado, freeze-dried guacamole to this, freeze-dried sour cream. Make yourself a little burrito snack. But you can, again, make it as thick or as thin as you want, depending on how much water you use. And if you're like, oh, it's just not thick, it's just not thin enough, add more water. Give it a minute. If it's still too thick, add more water. You get the picture, right? Like you just keep adding the water and it will literally absorb it. Now let's say you went a little too far with the water. Give it a second to absorb what you want and then drain off the extra. That's all you do. It's really easy. And I love this stuff if we're going to go like camping or like when we go on trips. Hawaii, this is a great option to take. This was awesome when I saw the tray with the refried beans and I was like, yes, refried beans! And I was so excited. So we did our 4 reconstitutions. We did black beans. We did applesauce, we did refried beans, and we did canned fruit, which I was extremely surprised and enjoying when I saw that, and I'm super pleased with how they turned out. I hope you give mixed fruit a chance to try it, but remember what my husband's trick was. Throw it in a colander, drain off the syrup, and then rinse off the excess. That doesn't mean you sit there and you make sure they're all hand rinsed. You just just rinse it off a little bit, then throw it on your tray and pre-freeze it. Then you'll be set to go. All right, and it took 57 hours in my medium tray. But that's okay because I have really nice thick trays. So yours might take 42 hours, might take 48 hours, it might even take 67 hours. And that's okay. Freeze drying time is subjective. It's based on where you live and all kinds of other things. If you're curious about other tips and tricks on how to reconstitute foods or how to get them ready for freeze drying, go ahead and hit subscribe. And don't forget to hit the little bell so you get the notifications when a new video goes up. And I have more coming. I'm so excited, you guys. Thanks for joining the family. And that's me, Freeze Drying Mama. Bye, you guys.